Welcome to yet another episode of Cambridge IELTS 20 Task 1 series. Today we are going to discuss Test 3 Task 1. Well, there are multiple values, multiple charts in this task. That is why students often get confused how to organize them. In this episode, I'm going to delve into this multiple chart question and we will focus on Band 7 strategies. So let's get started. Let's read the introduction first. The charts below give information about a public library in a town called Little Chalfont. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. The task 1 question statement itself tells you what to do. You have to summarize the information, you have to report the main features and make comparisons, only relevant ones. And you have to write 150 words at least. Now you can see you have 3 different charts in this question. Well, this time, this Cambridge book has come up with some complications. We have 4 different values for a pie chart, several values for the table, and another chart that is bar chart. It also has many different values. Are we going to cover all of them? We have to organize, we have to select the main features, and then we have to extend our answer properly. First, we have a pie chart. It has 4 values, but what are we going to write about? Our main feature would be the most dominant category here. That is people in the age group of 18 to 64 years. Well, they form the largest group of library members. So yes, this is going to be the first main feature for our overview. Now, what about the table? Now, according to the table here, children's fiction and adult fiction, these are 2 most popular categories of loans issued. Now, what are loans here? These are basically the resources which are issued to people or library members. So, different type of resources are given in the table, but for our main feature, we are selecting only the most popular ones. Now, let's jump to the bar chart. Bar chart clearly shows an overall rise in the total loans from 2007 to 2016. Although there was a minor dip in between, but even then, in general, there was a rise. So this is also our main feature. So we have shortlisted 3 main features. We won't delve into the details. We will not talk about the data values in overall. We will just highlight these main features. If you start extracting many features from the charts given, you'll end up creating an essay for your task 1 report. So please don't do that. Now let's begin by writing the introduction. The introduction for your report should be short and crisp. It should introduce your charts. Now here we have 3 different charts. Either we can create a single sentence giving an overall information about the charts, what they actually describe. Or we can separately create 2 sentences, one for the pie chart and another sentence where we will be talking about the loans. So it's up to you, but it should be clear and you must make use of academic language. It should be formal because it's your first impression on the examiner. Now here are the 2 types of introduction. You can choose either of them. It is a clear reflection of what your charts or the given charts represent. The given pie chart shows the age distribution of members at Little Chalfont Library in 2016. So here we have mentioned about the pie chart, and the second sentence is about table and bar chart. The table presents the percentage of total loans by category in the same year, while the bar chart illustrates changes in the total number of loans between 2007 and 2016. Yes, this is slightly longer because we have separated the charts. We have talked about what each chart represents. But at the same time, it is using comparison language also, and it is clarifying what each of the chart represents. So it is a clear reflection of what your charts describe, basically. You can also write 1 long sentence for your introduction if you don't want to separate the charts. So this way, the visuals illustrate the age profile of members at Little Chalfont Library in 2016, the distribution of loans by category in the same year, and the total number of items borrowed between 2007 and 2016. This is a shorter introduction, but at the same time, it is introducing all the chart types. Now, we have already selected the main features. We already have planned about the main features. So let's write our overview as well. Your overview should begin with a phrase or a word that tells the examiner that this is the overview paragraph. So you can use any of those phrases like looking from an overall perspective, in general, or in overall, or just overall. Overall, the library was mainly used by adults aged 18 to 64. So this was our first main feature, while fiction for both children and adults dominated borrowing. Now, this was basically the second feature from the table. So we have clubbed them together in one sentence. Meanwhile, despite a minor dip, the total lending rose over the period from 2007 to 2016. So we have described the trend for the bar chart as well, and that was supposed to be our third main feature for this multiple charts question. You can use different ways to write your overview, but remember, there should be no numbers. You will not talk about the minor categories, and you should cover all the three visuals. So basically features or the main features from all the visuals given. And you should also use the trend language. So rather than talking about the data values, use words like dominated, rose, accounted for, dip, and so on. Now moving on to the body paragraphs. You can either create 2 or 3 body paragraphs. It's up to you. But make sure you're using comparison language. You are delving into the data values, but you are also very selective in choosing the data values. You will not provide all the values at one go. So be selective. And you must also use different ways to represent data. Let's begin by writing about the pie chart first. In 2016, adults aged 18 to 64 made up just over half of the library's members, making them the dominant group. And we have given 51% in the bracket here. So this one statement is about our main feature. We have given the data value, that is 51%. It was the largest group. Now moving on to the second group, children accounted for more than 1/5. And teenagers aged 13 to 17 represented a slightly smaller proportion. By contrast, people aged 65 and above formed the smallest segment at 12%. Now, in this paragraph, we have given the data values 51% and 12% for the largest and the smallest share. But what about the other two categories? For children, we have used another way of representing data, that is more than 1/5, because it was 22%. So rather than writing 22%, we have used this phrase to describe the data. And we have used a comparison phrase for the teenagers. The phrase is slightly smaller proportion. So don't list the data values in your body paragraphs. Try to organize them, use comparison language, be selective, and at the same time, you should cover all the categories. So we have covered all the categories here. Now, we will talk about the table. We will describe that in another body paragraph. Because it is about loans issued, the type of loans issued, or the genres, so we will be creating another paragraph. You can begin the paragraph by writing according to the table, regarding borrowing categories, or any other phrase which actually sounds natural and not mechanical. Regarding borrowing categories, children's fiction and adult fiction were by far the most popular, each accounting for 38% of total loans. So you can see the words here, by far the most popular, and each accounting for 38% of total loans. So we have clubbed both the categories in a single sentence by using the phrase each accounting for. Moving on to the next category, that was adult non-fiction. Now, since it was 13%, it was second most popular. So let's see what words we have used for that. Adult non-fiction followed at 13%. And now we are going to talk about the remaining categories. Since they held very small proportion, 1 to 6% only, we will compare them by using while or whereas. So adult non-fiction followed at 13%, whereas the remaining materials, including children non-fiction, young adult materials, audiobooks and DVDs, together made up only a very small proportion, ranging from 1 to 6%. This is another way of representing data where you are creating the ranges, 1 to 6%. So don't write every value that one thing is at 6%, another thing is at 2% or 1%. You can club them together. If you start creating a new sentence for every category, you'll end up writing an essay, and that is not suggested. In task 1, you should write somewhere between 150 to 180 words. That's enough for you because it is a report. Now let's write our final paragraph, that is about the bar chart. We have so many values here in the bar chart because we have so many years given. But are we going to talk about every year? Absolutely not. We will only pick a few of the values. I'll be talking about the value in 2007 because it was the initial year. And then I'll talk about the rise, fluctuation also, and finally I'll be covering the final value of 2016. So let's write this. Finally, the total loans increased overall from approximately 16,000 in 2007 to slightly above 21,000 in 2011. Now, can you see the language that has been used? I'm writing approximately 16,000 because I'm not sure whether it is 16,500 or 16,000. It's over 15,000. So that is why we are using the language of approximation. Slightly above 21,000, again for the same reason. And in between, we have skipped the values because they are not very important. Now, after a small decline in 2013, the figures recovered to around 22,000 by 2016. So, straight away jump from 2013 to 2016. So, basically, we have mentioned the trend of total loans issued by the library from 2007 to 2016 by being selective for our data values. So that is our final report on this task. I hope you were able to understand what you are expected to write about, how you should write. If you have any more questions, you can write to us. You can also share your responses for a free evaluation. For other task types from Cambridge IELTS 20, you can follow our series, subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any new update. And I'll keep sharing responses to complex chart types with you. Like and subscribe to our channel and keep following all about IELTS. Thank you for watching.